Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the scariest scenes in non-horror movies. Before we get into this, please don't take this video too seriously. Some of these are absolutely ridiculous picks and some of them are personal. I also curated a little bit of these off of Reddit. I will link that post in the description. You got to give credit where credit is due. So without further ado, let's get started. The first scene is from Pee-wee Herman's Great Adventure, and it is none other than Large Marge. Besides Pee-wee Herman being a creepy dude in real life, there is a part of Pee-wee Herman's Big Adventure where he's hitchhiking. He sees a truck come up, he gets out there, he waves him down. Guess who's in there? Large Marge, baby. You begin to quickly realize that Large Marge is not an ordinary lady. She starts talking about on a night like tonight, she saw a car accident years ago. The fog was dense, and they were pulling the bodies out of the wreckage. When they pulled one of the bodies out, it looked like... So if you grew up on this movie, I didn't. This is way out of my time. I know for a fact you saw this as a kid and you filled your diaper up. Your diaper was full after this scene. So even though I didn't grow up on this, I did watch this movie as a kid, and this scene shook me to my core, rattled my bones, made my neck crack and back. But yeah, everyone pretty much knows this scene, but it is still creepy nonetheless. I'm just gonna give you some background information about Pee-wee Herman and why I said in the beginning he's a weird dude. So Pee-wee Herman, also known as Paul Reubens, was arrested in 1991 for exposure at an adult movie theater. So like that alone, I mean, you're in an adult movie theater. I don't know what you were expecting to happen. I'm pretty sure people are going to expose themselves at a place like this. But a decade later in 2001, his home was raided and there was some things that they found. I'm guessing you know what it is. Just think Minecraft YouTuber and there's your answer. With that being said, let's just move on to the next one. Dude, I just watched this scene right now just to get a refresher so I can commentate on it. It just scared the shit out of me, bro. I had a little jolt. So in this scene, Frodo has the ring around his neck, and Bilbo Baggins, he wants that ring. He spots it around his neck. He looks in, he sees the ring, and he wants it. He stares a little bit closer, just a little bit closer. I'm sorry if the way I'm doing this is scaring you. It probably isn't, but it's more fun to edit it this way. But yeah, this scene, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you know it. On the Reddit, it seemed like this was a really popular pick. A lot of people said this scared them. And when I first watched this, probably 6 months ago, this scene frightened me. All right, with that being said, let's go to the next scene. So this one is a little bit of a cheat code. The Wizard of Oz is just a creepy ass movie. From start to finish, this movie is cursed. I could make a whole entire video of how cursed the production of this movie was. And if you go in there with that insight, then you really feel the creeps. Even if you go in there without that insight, you still get the creeps from this movie. I've said this before in a previous video, but old looking footage, old looking movies have this weird kind of almost charm to them. The dwarves are creepy, the monkeys are creepy, the witch is creepy. I said creepy so many times it doesn't even sound like a word anymore. I even think the Tin Man is kind of creepy. There, I said it. I'm sorry. I know people absolutely adore this movie, and trust me, it is still a great movie. I can't shake that feeling of uneasiness every single time I see it. Now we are moving on to the next scene. I know, everyone put down your pitchforks, everyone chill, but Where the Wild Things Are, creepy ass movie. I said it. It has a great story, a great message behind it, but I feel like it didn't translate to live action movie very well. These wild things are terrifying, dude. So there's a scene in this movie where one of the wild things gets mad and he starts booking it towards the kid. And it is terrifying, dude. Can you imagine one of these things chasing you, especially as a child? That's lifetime therapy level scariness. This was just a quick little insertion. They creep me out, and that's basically it. I actually went into the behind the scenes of this movie so I can get some pictures for the thumbnail, and it didn't help. It didn't help. They actually built these things for real. These things are real. Anyway, let's move on to the next scene. So Willy Wonka is an all-time classic family film. I know people are going to leave comments that this movie is just creepy in general, and it is. But to me, when I was a child and I watched this, I didn't have any weird feelings. up until the scene where they go down the tunnel in the boat. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. How much to get off the boat, Wonka? I rewatched this scene for this video, and I picked up on something, and I'm not really sure if people knew this. There was a little part in this scene where there's a chicken, and it gets its head stomped in, like a real chicken. You know, it's probably just because the times are different, but I was not expecting to see that in a kid's movie. Willy Wonka just starts going batshit crazy, and some of the kids end up going missing when they come out of the tunnel. So what happened in there? Overall, great scene, great movie. If you haven't seen this in a while, go rewatch it. Try to pick up on some of the creepy things in this movie. You'll have a great time. And in the final spot, this scene is a spoiler. So if you have not seen the movie Enemy, go and check it out. But oh my goodness. So there's a scene in Enemy where Jake Gyllenhaal is looking for his lover. He's walking around, he's calling for her name. Finally, he finds the room that she's in. He opens the door and... So there was nothing really scary in Enemy up until the last shot of the movie. And that's why it was so effective. I remember watching this with no intent in my mind as to what was about to happen. But as soon as Jake Gyllenhaal opens that door and the spider crawls back into the wall, I got full body chills. That doesn't happen very often where I get that feeling. And oh my goodness. The sound the spider makes when it crawls back up against the wall in the dead quiet, no music. Oh my god. So the guy who directed this movie is he just makes bangers, dude. He made Dune Part 2. He made Arrival, he made Sicario. He also made Blade Runner, Prisoners. You could just keep going on. This guy knows exactly what he's doing when he makes movies. I feel like this movie was one big build up to this final scene, and that's why it was so effective and great. If you haven't watched this movie and you went and watched it and you came back to this video, I beg of you to please read some theories about the ending and what the actual ending means, and it'll blow your mind. I remember when this movie finished, I was looking on Google for at least 4 hours. Here's a little fun fact. This scene was actually made with a miniature. So that is a real spider, that is a real room.
Tiny replica and put a real tarantula with the high-res cameras, and then the tarantula was blown up and put in the real room, and that for me is one of the best special effects I've seen in my life.
If you couldn't tell, I love finding the behind the scenes of movies. It's kind of like my nerd thing, and I love practical effects. That's why I love The Thing. That's why I love this scene. I love when practical effects mend into one. I'm just gonna throw this in there last second. Doodle Bob creepy as hell. I'm not gonna change my opinion. Dude's creepy, all right? Oh, and also that scene where the butterfly lands on Sandy Cheeks' face and it goes into HD. That was creepy as hell. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. The next one, it's gonna be a banger. So look out on Easter. You're gonna get treated well. You're gonna get a good little Easter basket that day. Thank you so much for the support. Let's try to get to 100K, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye-bye.